hit the go live button here. And some of your devices, you might have to mute a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I'm on.
Turn the volume down a little bit.
For me?
All right. So we just got the notification.
Yep.
Right. And I'm going to switch back over to Zoom. This is where I almost crashed the party last week. So I'm just going to hit, I don't know.
Wex is already on.
Yeah, Scott Wexler. So if you guys can run a YouTube chat, that would be awesome.
I got it.
And let me grab the links, guys. If you're signing on to us, thank you very much. We are Prepared Patriot, and especially for Peter's folks that are watching back, we are also a North Carolina company. We're a training company out of Western North Carolina. We specialize in firearm training, medical. We do anything from pistol training to rifle training to medical stuff. We're getting into shotgun and force-on-force training, things of that nature. So if you guys are looking for something way better than the average concealed carry class, or looking for something closer to home, you don't have to travel 8 hours, we got your back. So check us out at preparedpatriotnc.com, and we can hook you up with whatever your training needs are. And that's kind of my salesman pitch for now. So anyway, our distinguished guest tonight is Peter. He is from Carolina Custom Foam, and this dude makes some badass gun cases. So if you guys haven't checked him out, you can check him out. I think it's Carolina Custom Foam 2015 on Instagram. That's kind of where he lives. And so you can check out some of his examples there. And he's had some high profile clients, and we'll get into that in a little bit. And yeah, so he does exquisite work. I just did a real quick video and put it up on TikTok, and like 5 days later, it's got 20,000 views. So that tells you how like awesome his work is, guys. So so we are super stoked to have him, and he is here. He's local in North Carolina. He's located in Asheville, North Carolina. You can check him out at sorry, I always got the background here. Here's his business card, Carolina Custom Foam. There's his name and all his digits. So I believe it's carolinacustomfoam.com. So and we'll talk about some of his stuff here. So I think one of the things that really kind of caught my eye when we were I forgot to say how we met you guys. So we our buddy Jody here, Weapons Junkie, got us into the Iraq Veteran 88 range day. He got us to hook up, and that's where we met Peter, and it's kind of where we hit it off there. So took one look at his stuff and said, man, that's awesome. And so he's the first person I reached out to when we got back about having on live stream. So anyway, go ahead, Peter, give us a little rundown on just kind of your history, how you kind of got into the business, and I'm going to share the link and everything around here. So I got to get somebody else talking so I can do my social media thing.
Yeah, do your thing, hustle, man. So my name is Peter Wakeham. I am the proprietor of Appalachian Tough Gun Case Foam. It's a type of open cell foam that does not absorb moisture out of the atmosphere. It's twice as firm as the stuff you find standard stock inside your Pelican or Plano cases. And that's kind of where I started out, was finding a fix to the gun case foam conundrum of the stuff that came standard. People would cut their guns out and need to replace it. And I just took what's out there and made it better. So that's the bread and butter of what I do. Is I sell foam blanks. I can cut them at any size that you want, and we have about 4 or 5 different thicknesses that we can do. So that's the boring part of what I do. Not for me, but it's not making, from there, I take that Appalachian Tough Gun Case Foam and I make custom cases. And how I do that is I am one of the few people that have an art degree that they actually used it. And um, fell into making custom cases and foaming the insides like, and I'm gonna date myself, but way back in the day, they had these little dioramas that you took a shoebox to school, and then you made little.
You're a kid of the '80s. It sounds like.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I grew up in the late 1900s, so that's we had these dioramas you look through, and it was 3-dimensional. And so I was taking a look at the top of a gun case, and I was like, well, why can't we do that there? And so I took about 2 years to start to understand my craft, because there was nobody for me to follow. There was no blueprint on how to make custom gun case foam. I had to figure it all out from there, and I wanted to do it in a larger scale where I didn't have to put my hands on the gun. And so 99% of everything I do is from a picture and sitting down with the client and having them measure that gun in certain spots so I can scale it proportionately. And I nail it about 7 out of 10 times. Other times there needs to be a small adjustment, and other times where I'm just off, man. I'm a human being. So we make sure that everything fits. And I take two clients a week. And right now we're booking into middle January for our newest jobs. So we're pretty booked up. But again, if you're able to pop over to his TikTok or check out my Instagram, you'll see that when someone tells you you're a gun case, that I'm a gun case artist, it doesn't resonate, because nobody knows what that is, because it's never been done before. And so, check out my work. You'll see what we mean. And you'll see what it is that I do. It's a very visual thing,
Well, Peter, I'll say, as we walk by the case you had on display there, and it was the 3D with the big rifle case, it just pops.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Thank you. So that case was made for Machine Gun Mike of Batcave Ballistics. He was the one with all the fully autos there, the M80, the M60.
And he's also a North Carolina guy. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Oh, there it is.
Yes, he is. And he comes to the shop, hangs out. We have a great time. And I get to work on some of the most neatest fully autos that they're always a challenge. They're always a challenge. But we make some really good art together. And that's the fun of it all.
Awesome. So sorry guys, I so rudely just kind of got right into stuff. I forgot the other introduction. So Peter, if you don't remember from the range day, the bald-headed fella, his name is Jerry Googe, but we affectionately call him Jerry Gage. He's the bald eagle, and depending on which corner old Jody's in, he's got his own channel at Weapons Junkie on YouTube. So just sorry about the lack in the introductions. And Jody had something to say, and then I'm going to hop into some questions and comments from the feed on YouTube.
Yeah, so I was just going to talk about when we saw Peter's work. Like, I'm an old school sneakerhead. There's a lot of guys in there doing custom stuff too, and it kind of reminded me of that. Like, how he was creating all these different layers, dimensions, and color. It's pretty badass. And get over to his Instagram, check it out, man. It's sweet.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. So we got a few of the usuals. We got Max from Max's Path on tonight. We got Scott Wexler, Weapons Junkies on here, and we got one of our newer ads, Jimmy. And I'm just going to butcher his name. We'll just call him Jimmy for tonight. But let's see. Somebody had a specific question. Scott Wexler asked, "Do you hot cut or water jet?"
Neither. I use lasers. So I invented. I don't like to say I invented. I mean, I didn't invent the laser, but what I did was I was able to build a table. I was able to, on the fly, learn the X, Y, and Z axis of the CNC type of automation. And then I was able to find a laser that I can tune into burning the foam in a way that it doesn't catch it on fire. And that was another thing of this foam, is that I was having issues with it catching on fire. So instead of me trying to adjust a laser to not catch foam on fire, we just decided to add something to the foam so it just doesn't catch on fire. So, I mean, there's a lot of back and forth and failures and all that, but I have a warehouse full of lasers, and they're always running, and they're low wattage. I can burn on wood, although I don't, but they will not hit metal. They will not burn through wood. They will not, they're not strong. They are strong enough to cut foam. And that's how I do it. You can water jet it. You can hot wire it. The thing with the water jetting is that there's no fumes, so it will cut. The other aspect of water jetting is there's a lot of blowing that foam around, so you've got to anchor it down. But my preferred method is I can get precision cuts with a laser.
Beautiful. Cool. So when did you get started again? It was 2015, as your Instagram channel indicates?
Yeah, so 2015 is when I started the company of just foam. I was selling just foam, mattress foam and couch cushion foam, and getting into the gun case foam. And so I kind of picked that up because I worked at a foam and fabric here in town. And when I left there, I was like, I can do this for myself. There's a lot of questions involving foam. People don't quite know what to buy. So if I can educate, I can sell. And that's what I did. And everything that I did and talked to and listened to my customer base all sent me in this direction of making a type of gun case foam that would improve upon what we have now. And so that's what I did. And then from there, I learned how to cut things out.
Or Jody's got a question. Go ahead, Jody.
Yeah, no, it's just a comment. It's pretty cool. I find it interesting. My dad was in the textile industry for 35 years. So he sold machinery that blended the equipment. And one of his biggest customers was Carpenter Company. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They did a lot of carpet underlayment and foam as well. This was years ago. So pretty cool, man. We should have had him on the live stream so y'all could talk nerd stuff, So
right, nerd foam stuff. Yeah,
right,
for sure. There's a lot to it, man.
Yeah,
there is. I mean, it's a science, man. It's a science.
Yeah, I think schools like NC State, they've got like material science and all kinds of stuff. I mean, so legitimately, for sure. And it sounds like a lot of innovation on your end, Peter.
There's a lot of nights. There's a lot of thrown wrenches. There's a lot of tears, but it's gotten to the point where there is just a lot of being happy. Like I wake up in the morning and if I dream something up at night, I can go in and work on it. But for the most part, right now, I've worked myself into a position where I am I'm booked until January. So I have someone else's dream I'm making at least twice a week. And so
good deal. So Mikey Kalakis wants to know where Grumpy Dwarf is, and that's old Grumpy Dwarf in behind me. He's here in spirit. His let's just say his wife has a list and has him busy tonight. So they've got some potential major changes on the way. I'm not going to spoil the spoiler, but so we'll just leave it at that. We're covering for old Eagle One Patrick Woods tonight.
There may be some more channels come out.
Yeah, so they got some big life changes in the works potentially. So you guys stay tuned. So Patrick is busy. Let's just say he's probably painting cabinets tonight, prepping his house for something. So awesome.
I have a question, Peter.
Yeah.
You said you're taking like 2 clients a week. When you start, what's your general time frame like for a gun case, start to finish? Because we talked there at the event, and I remember you saying each one is custom and your thing is you make a case for this person, you're not making another one like it, you know? And so what's your timeline like when you sit down with the customer to the finished product?
Sure. So from the start of someone hitting my DMs or sending me an email or whatnot, what I do is I give that about 10 minutes of my time, and I'll explain the process. I'll explain what I do. Really what it comes down to is I've got a list of work on Instagram. If I'm the artist for you, you're getting a hold of me. So I'm not really having to sell my wares. It's there. And so what I'll do is listen and hear what it is, the theme that they were thinking of doing. And I'll either take that job or not, because there's just some things that I'm just not going to be a good artist for. You know, if I can't really get behind it with my heart and my vision, I'm gonna phone it in, and I'm in a position where I don't need to do that. And that just looks bad for me. So if I take the job, then I collect the full gambit. I collect the price of the job, and I've got it broken into, I charge a flat rate per size case. So a handgun case is a certain rate, an SBR case is a certain rate, long rifle case is a certain rate, and whatever you want in it, full color in the lid, etc. And I take the full payment and I schedule that person in my books. And so once it's scheduled, that's their locked in time. But if I do finish up on other jobs, I will reach out and see if other people want to skip in, you know, get done a little bit early. A typical session when when their time is up and it's ready to design, I have a picture of their firearm if I don't have it already in my templates. And they grab their firearm, a measuring tape, and sit down and I video chat like we're doing right now, but on my computer, and they see my screen. So I can say, listen, I need an overall length from this point here to this point here, and let's check it in over here and here and here and here to make sure that this thing is scaled proportionally. You put that gun in and it's going to fit. And once we get that locked down, then we get into what it is they want to design. Say they want a no step on snake, or if they want a battleship that their grandfather used to work on, or I mean, the gambit is so high and everyone has their own little thing that they want to do. Then we'll do some research if there's research needed. And I'll design everything right there on the screen. And there are things that you cannot see in the foam or on the screen that I will work into the foam, like a star scene or some free-handed artwork that I draw. From the point that the client is satisfied with the artwork, I then have to take that picture and figure out how the heck I'm going to put it in foam. So I got a pretty good idea how I'm going to do it as I do it, and I will morph that design around what the capabilities are. But there's a lot of times where I have to think outside the box to create the detail that I need to pull off what it is I need to pull off. So as you can imagine, it's not a point of, all right, I got the design, hit the button and the thing cuts. We're cutting, we're painting, we're screwing up, we're getting mad, we're throwing things across the shop, we're cutting it again, we're painting it again, I'm painting it the wrong color, then I'm cutting it again, I'm painting it and putting it all together, and then wow, we have this design, and now I was able to put it in foam. And that takes about 2 weeks to go through. So realistically, I'm working on 4 jobs a week. 2 I'm designing, and 2 I'm creating and putting into foam. And depending on how hard that job is, sometimes it can take a little bit longer, sometimes I can finish up a little bit earlier. But so I would say from the time that we design to the time that you have it in your hands is a good 2.5 to 3 weeks. But there is that wait to be able to, because I'm just one guy.
Yeah, at least you're realistic though, man, and sending out your wait times and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I would say in business, hold on a second, I've been drinking. It's better to under promise and over deliver.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's really what I do. I think translucence, just being translucent and there's no reason for me to tell anybody that I can do something faster than I actually can, because it's harmful for everybody, and I'm not going to work under the gun. I don't do well. I'm an artist. I don't do well when I'm under pressure. And the other thing is that I don't do well when I have to work for money. And that might not sound really smart as a businessman, but I can only do how I feel. And if somebody pays the full amount, they're telling me that, hey, I got trust in what you do. I know what you're going to do is going to be great. And now I'm working for that person that has trust in me, which means I'm going to do a much better job than, man, I really hope he likes this so I can get the rest of my money. And so that's why I won't do a job unless I'm paid completely up front. And we're all on the same page that way.
Yeah. So Jody's our businessman. What do you say about that approach, Jody? Throw it
I
out there.
like it. I mean, I like it. It's kind of, you know, he set himself an edge and he's saying, look, I'm the best out there. If you want my shit, you're going to pay me. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So cool. So I'm just going to take a break real quick, guys, and just say hey to some folks in the live feed. We got a newbie. We got a Eric Sir Royce, maybe. I don't know. It looks kind of French. But Eric, thanks for joining us tonight, buddy. Hopefully you're still here. And
I might be Greek, man.
yeah, you think so? So anyway, my bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just a country bumpkin anymore, but let's see. We got Dylan Clifford in the house. We appreciate you guys being here. Jimmy's still hanging with us. Scott, Wex, and Max. Everybody's still with us. I guess Mikey was concerned about Patrick being pregnant. Was the big life change.
Yeah.
And then he was, obviously said might end up being a soccer player. So, but yeah. So
Wexler, that question.
What's that?
Wexler had a question.
He has a good question. It's
Okay. Go ahead, Jerry.
do you require the case to be sent in for foam, or do you build it to specs and then send it out?
So very good question. There are a couple templates that I will only work on. I'm not going to do work on a $25 case from Sam's Wholesale. I will do work on Pelican 1750s. I will do work on the 1700s, some of the IM series. I will not do work on vaults. If we're going cheap on our case, I'm not the guy for you. Number one. Number two, if you're going to be buying a custom set from me, I would prefer that you buy the whole case, the whole kit and caboodle, because I have them in my shop. I can fit them right then and there, and I can make sure that everything fits. So when I'm sending you a finished product, I know for a fact that you can drop your gun in there. Everything's glued in place. Everything's not going to move. Everything's going to fit right. But if I just do the template or just do a set of foam for you, which I will do, if that thing doesn't fit perfectly or doesn't fit right, I'm sorry. And that's really what it comes down to, is that I have control over what leaves this shop. I don't have control over what you do with your phone. And I kind of try to steer people away from doing that. But there are times where someone has a Pelican 1750 and they just bought it. They didn't know how I worked. And, those Pelicans are good cases. So I'll have no problem, but it is with stipulations that, listen, I'm going to cut it to what the specs on the computer have. I'm going to cut to the specs that we got from the internet. And here, make sure that this is right. And if this is right, this is how I'm going to send it. And if it fits in your case correctly, great. Now with the 1750, 1720, the 1700s, they've always fit. They always fit all the time. There's no issues with that. I mean, we produce a major amount of those for customers and clients that sell weapons and have the manufacturing part of it. So we'll fit those for them. But I prefer to be able to sell in a Nook case, because I just feel that they're the most, they're the best case out there. Pelican's got the name. Pelican makes a top-notch case. They are mil-spec, and I think that the Pelican, the Nook cases that are out there are the Pelican quality, but luxury. I mean, you've got your Jeeps and you got your Range Rovers, and I just think that the Nooks are the Range Rovers of gun cases.
Word. And I'm sorry if I missed this because I'm rocking the old Voodoo Ranger tonight. And
You're doing the
my
IPA.
Premier Body Armor Bulletproof Can Cooler. Code Prepared Patriot 10. Was it Prepared Patriot for 10% off? That's right. Anyway, so as far as different types of guns, if you're kind of a no touch, how do you get the 3D geometry on all that?
So all I have to worry about is depth. So, you know, with the gun's going to lay on its side. So what I'll do is I'll get a picture, an overhead picture. Customer needs to send me an overhead picture of that gun. Needs to make sure it's in dead in there, and it needs to make sure it's on a light background. From there, I can make a silhouette of that gun. So all I'm really interested in is a silhouette and how deep it is. And then from there, we can set that foam, that gun right directly into that. We also undercut in certain spots on purpose. We don't want that gun to have to rely on the lid of that foam to hold it in place. That's where all the artwork is. So if we're doing that, we're doing other special things to prevent that from happening, like a layer of foam over the top that's designed. But that gun needs to sit below the foam and held in certain spots that when you pick that case up, it's not going to shimmy or fall out.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we actually saw one of your cases at the range day where the design was in the lid, and then you had where the gun goes, and then there was another layer of foam that sat on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
Had one of those there. That was pretty nice deal.
So there's a comment in the thread that I really want to explore. And so Jody is good friends with John Willis of Special Operations Equipment out in Camden, Tennessee. And so Max says, Jody, somehow we have to get him and Willis into the same room together. I hope they're talking about you and not me on the Voodoo Ranger. And Max says, yep, because that conversation would be something to listen to. So Jody, can you expound on that a little bit, my man?
I guess because they're saying they're both artists, right? And they both custom make stuff, and they're both always thinking about materials and different, geometries and things like that. So, Peter, I don't know if you're familiar with him, but his name's John Willis. You can look him up. It's original Special Operations Equipment, and he's been doing it for about 30 years. He does a lot of he used to do a lot of special forces SEAL stuff, still does, but now he switched into more of a lifestyle brand, and everything's made in Tennessee by hand. So cut, sewn, bomb-proof, lifetime guarantee, from slings to crossbody bags to day packs to chest rigs, all kinds of stuff. So
Cool. Yeah, I love this industry, and I love the amount of people that are in this industry. I've been blessed enough to work with some really, really interesting people, and a lot of very, very interesting people that I've carved out some friendships with. And this industry is different, man. I don't think you can go to any industry other than the entertainment industry and have actual celebrities. Like, you don't go to the AC convention and like, holy crap, there's so and so the AC guy. Like,
right. Yeah.
And so I think that the amount of personalities, the amount of people who do interesting things, and then again, there is such a plethora of people. Yeah. That this is such a great industry to be in.
Yeah, I agree. Quick question, piggybacking off that. How did you get connected with Eric and Brandy at IV8888?
So my crew is friends with Eric and Brandy.
Okay. Cool.
A lot of people don't know me as a person, but they do know my work.
Right.
And so Machine Gun Mike was invited to it last year for the machine guns, and he put in a good word with Brandy. I filled out the RSVP, and Brandy got it, and I had to explain, hey, nobody knows Peter, but they do know the cases that I did, the truth cases for Kevin Dixie, and they do know a couple of ones that have gone viral. And so from there, I guess they saw the value in having me come through. And I because my stuff is artwork and because I got set up a month ahead of time, they asked me if I wanted to come in as a vendor. And I did. However, I would be just walking out there with nothing because I didn't have enough time to actually make pieces to bring there. And I didn't know, I haven't ran that gamut yet. I had never been there before. So I don't know if there's going to be 100 people there or 1,000 people there. And if there's 1,000 people there, then should I be bringing stuff to sell? Is this a place where I can sell? Is this a SHOT Show or an NRA show?
Right.
I didn't know any of that. So I explained that to Brandy. She's like, just come. It's fine. Check it out. See if you want to do vendor next year. And so I got there and we showed them the case and they said, okay, you need to put up a booth. You need to work that booth. You need to go do your thing. There was no talk about, hey, fill us in, you're a vendor, hey, all this stuff. I haven't reached back out to thank them yet, which I'm going to. I think I'm going to do a little something, nice inside of a case and send it to them for sure. But it was the first time I met Eric, but my crew always messes with Eric. I mean, my crew knows Eric pretty well. He knows the majority of he knows everybody, but he knows the majority of my crew. So that's how I got hooked up with them. And I'm definitely going to run a booth next time. I'm going to come in as a vendor and come a little bit more prepared. And it's just kind of lucky that Machine Gun Mike came to me and said, I'm going to the IV 88 range shoot and I'm bringing the M60, but I really, really want to do a memorial case. And he brought that to me like 2 weeks before it. I'm going, bro, listen, I'm booked, man. You can't do this to me. He goes, I'm sorry, but I think it'd be really good for me, be really good for you to get a bunch of eyes on your work. I'm like, well, I'm humble, but people already know my work. I don't need to rush to get known. And then he showed me what he thought he was doing. And he said he wanted it to be a memorial case. And at that point I started feeling like it was something bigger than me. And that's where I get jazzed.
Yeah.
And so just his idea of he told me a story about, and I'm kind of diverting. So if you guys need to reel me back in, I mean, that's fine. But
good, man.
But so he explained, Machine Gun Mike from Batcave Ballistics explained to me how he let a veteran shoot it. And you just saw the nostalgia just wash over this man's face. He hadn't shot something like that in years. He was such an older gentleman that he had to lay down to shoot it. But just how much just shooting that gun brought him back to his glory days, his the time that made him become his own identity of who he was. And when you have stuff like that, you seize that opportunity. Those aren't times where you just all right, I'm bigger than this, you seize those opportunities. And I've been able to do that about 3 or 4 different times on different things, different cases that are bigger than me. And that's where my art really comes in and I'm able to tell a story. Like if you look at that case, and I wish I had a picture of it. If you look at that case, man, you get the sense that it's hot. You get the sense that it's miserable, but you get the sense that there are some bad MFers walking that you get, that you immediately, without saying a thing, you know where they are. Mm-hmm. You know how they're feeling.
Yeah.
And it's not a position where you want to be, but this is what we send our boys in this,
Yeah.
The average death is 19 years old. These were kids. And anyways.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great piece of art. I mean, it speaks to you. And
yeah,
I'm glad you made it down there. I was with Kevin at the spring event. So they had a spring event. Oh, I'm sorry, man, my phone. They had a spring event because 20 got canceled, right? And so Kevin was there, and he actually was talking about your you've done a couple for him, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
We're talking about KD?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I remember the first one I saw a few years ago, and then the St. Louis design, maybe. Yeah.
So I did it. So the point of the Truth Gun is to tell a story about gun control. And it's to tell a story about how civilians were offended upon by the tyrannical government and the stories that are behind it. And all these stories, man, they're washed, they're swept under the rug. Like they don't teach you that in school. It's a blemish. It is a blemish on the American government. The amount of stuff that has happened. Unfortunately, it's happened to minorities more than it has happened to, but it does still happen. And I have two little Native American boys. I adopted two Cherokee children, and so like I'm definitely going to do Trail of Tears when we have the opportunity to do something like
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah, and the massacre, but yes, I did Black Wall Street, Black Wall Street has just really come to light because the entertainment industry is brought to light from being on TV, and that's another one of those stories that you can't believe what you're reading.
Right.
So we did Black Wall Street, Underground Railroad, we did St. Louis Massacre, and we did I always want to call it Palmetto Rosewood.
Yeah, Rosewood.
And there's a movie about Rosewood that I hadn't seen, and I didn't want to watch it to be to drift my ability, but so there's four different cases. You can choose your case, and inside that case there are backed up facts that are facts that explain what it is that gun control or the government has done to the American people themselves. And it is the first gun to actually have a reason to fight gun control. So you get this firearm, and it is gorgeous. It's on a VP9 platform, and you now have a story. So if you tell someone, hey, listen, gun control is racist, number one. And number two, it is a form of tyranny. Yeah. You can say that, but nobody will understand until you give them a reason. And you can just hold this case up and you can say, here are the facts. And that's one of my first things that really made me know that I had something going on here. I spent hours on those cases, and I actually did them 2 years ago, and then just recently did a revision of them all because my skills have changed. And man, they're amazing now.
So Pete,
and they're all on my Instagram.
If you have links or anything that you want to share, send them over to me, and I'll make sure I put them in the notes to this live stream. Put them down.
So real quick, for anybody watching that's not familiar, he's talking about KD, Kevin Dixie, no other choice. Dude, he's awesome, man. He's fighting a good fight out there. He's where you stand with him. He's an amazing guy, amazing family. His crew around him. He's trains quite a bit as well. So look him up. Just a little shout out to Kevin Dixie there. So
yeah, 100%. Kevin Dixie's he's a best friend, mentor, brother, and if there's anyone that I'd ever want on my side to train with, number one, it's him, because with him, it's not about being the most tactical person in the room. It's about and really most gun owners don't want to be the most tactical person in the room. They want to go get their groceries and they want to go home. and that's what he trains. It's called Evolve. He trains you to understand when to pull the trigger, when it's your ego that's getting in the way in this confrontation, when and he's taught me so much about certain confrontations I've been in, and I have to call him up and say, listen, this is what happened. This is how I'm feeling. There was a confrontation I was in last month, and it was just, I was in the back roads of North Carolina. I'm sure you all get it. And I drove by this guy's house, and he wasn't too lucky to other people with trucks not coming by his house. And he steps out on the road, he stopped me in my track, and I got my family with me. Of course, my gun's on my hip. I'm I'm ready to blast this guy. Like, I don't know what he's doing. He came out and he had a problem. And so I explained to him, to KD, that, listen, I was ready to defend myself, but it really wasn't to that point. And he explains that we carry firearms to preserve life, not take life. And having that explanation and being able to run through all this, I'm not going to give away his whole thing. You got to pay that price to understand that when you pull that trigger, you know for a fact that you are in the right. He has a way to articulate it that it makes absolute sense. My other brother, and case in point, my other brother, which is my best friend, is Michael Waller. And Michael Waller.
Yeah, that's my boy, man.
Yep.
That's my boy. Right
Waller
there.
was just on the front cover of the USCCA magazine. And the first train event that he went to, he goes home. He's in the same clothes that he left the train event. And he pulls home, and this man pops off rounds at him. And he ends up having to defend his life and his son's life, who's like 4.
Yeah, young.
Yeah. Yep. And you know, that's real life shit. That's real life stuff. And again, I can't say enough about Kevin Dixie. I mean, he's my crew, he's my fam. So, but yeah, 100%. If you guys want real training, real down home training for getting you in and out of Kmart or Walmart or Target and not having to breach a door and clear a room, which there's nothing wrong with that, but that's the guy to go see. Him and Ken Scott are the 2 best trainers I feel in the world that give you real life reasons. And real
since I'm not involved, I'm going to go ahead and plug here, Matt. Let me talk. So
I was getting ready to jump on it. Go ahead, man.
I've trained with a bunch of people as well, so I would definitely, Peter, we got to get you up here with some classes with Prepared Patriot as well. Mm-hmm. Same mindset, same philosophy. Michael, he's a good buddy of mine too. He's an alumni with tactical response, like I am, like all of us on the screen. So yeah, it is a family, and it's a big family, and we're all connected, which is cool. So we can't wait to get you over here on our side of the mountain and have you have a class with us too, man. Hang out.
I'd love to. I'd love to. And that's the thing too, is that everybody goes through a different experience. And you know, we all need to talk about those experiences and train for those experiences that we went through, because one person can't go through all of them and have all the keys.
And so, I think that's where Peter, if you've never done force on force training, that's one of the places that you would really appreciate. You kind of immersing yourself in different scenarios. Tactical Response does an awesome job at force on force training with the class they call the Fight. We're working on force on force classes for the spring. I think we're targeting February and March. But I think, you know, none of us, you know, we carry all this gear, and we truly hope that we never need it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and one of the things that we talk about in Prepared Pistol 1, which is our kind of flagship class right after our version of concealed carry class, is that really, if you have to use your gun, you just have to know that everything that you know and love, you know, is going to leave that barrel with that bullet, you know. So we talk about the fight itself, the emotional fight, the legal fight, and things of that nature. So everything, if you pack everything down, and it's a James Yeager quote, and I've been on the sauce a little bit tonight, but if you distill everything down to everything you know and love, it leaves that barrel with the press of that trigger. So I think we're kind of all on board there, you know what I mean? So we all just want to, I can't remember what you said. I think it was Kmart. I don't even know if there's any Kmarts around, but we all just want to go to the grocery store and get home. Yeah, you know, we don't want to be messed with. We just want to live our lives and love our families. So
now, if you want to take that tool that you use to defend your life, and you want to put it in something really pretty,
there we go.
Where I come in.
There we go. There we go.
That's where I come in.
So bringing us back to the the point here. So sorry, I've been slacking on the feed here, guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, we like I said, we're getting into force on force. I kind of already hit you up the other night for maybe a 4-pistol case. You know, just kind of the vertical case for some Glock 19s, for some trainer pistols. We'll be in contact with you, my man.
Sure, of course.
With some designs.
Looking forward to it.
So guys, if you're still hanging with us, your Peter's definitely legit. He's got some high profile clients. If you surf his Instagram feed, I've seen anything from the Big Show in WWE to Post Malone on the entertainment side. So who else you got on your Hall of Fame, Peter?
Sure. So there's been a lot of people that I have been blessed to work with, and there's been a lot of people that I have been blessed to work for. And there are some people that will receive my cases that I don't work with because they don't know they're going to receive it. One person was Jade Struck. She's got one of my cases. And that was gifted to her by the guys over at Blackwater. So I got to work with Blackwater and then present it to her in Texas, which was really great, her and Rudy. Let's see, Post Malone I never worked with him, but I worked with a company that was doing something using my foam in another product that was going to him. And so I said, well, I'm gonna just take this opportunity and put my case in his hands. So I did that. Let's see. I mean, I can scroll right down my feed and go over a good amount. Let's see. BJ Baldwin. I was able to work with BJ one-on-one, which was really, really cool. And we did a case for Sheriff Lombardo, the Las Vegas sheriff. I did a case through a guy, Matt Driscoll, for Zoli from Five Finger Death Punch. I sent it out recently. I don't know if he got it. I think he's touring, but he's got that. We made a case through Shea Butler Knives for Marcus Luttrell. Turns out Marcus Luttrell loved it and gave it to Joe Rogan. So Joe Rogan has 2 of my cases. We did another one I worked with American Gun Chick, who's a good friend of mine. Danny Duncan.
Yeah, I saw Brickell's Honey Badger case. It looked good.
Cool.
Yeah.
And that was on the fly. Like, she came to hang out in the studio and I was like, well, let's take this opportunity to make something for you. Yeah. And we just did it right there on the fly. I had them to come and stay for the night. And so I didn't have time to do all the painting and all that stuff. And I also did one for Black Rambo, and they went on a live and he pulls his out. And she's like, oh, man, you just got glitter and stuff on it. And I was like, oh, no, I'm going to step up my game for Brickell. Yeah, Ryan Henry from 9mag. I've done about 7 or 8 cases for him. I do a lot of work with the gun company, who gets a lot of different higher client people. Texas Totem, Whiskey Savage, again, his family. He's a very, very good friend of mine. And I do a lot of work for him and his media company as well. Julius from DEF CON, which, if you know stippling and that type of customization of Gucci Glocks, he's the leader in that. Argo J, I've done his Bravo Oscar rifle. I did a case for that, and a guitar case.
He's a solid dude too, man.
What's that?
He's a solid guy, man. Argo.
Jay? And they broke the mold on that guy.
I know. I love that.
And with Jay is that you can talk to him about anything and you're not getting judged. I mean, he will just, I can't say a good enough stuff about Jay. He's also fam. So I talk to him,
Yeah, we met at SHOT Show like 6 years ago and just like instantly connected, man. And it's, anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Just
it's good.
So Evan Dixon says he saw. I think this is Major. I'm sorry, I'm ignorant to a lot of these.
Get in, man. Get in.
Major. I'm just gonna spell it. Capital Toure case. Big fan of his.
Yeah, Mosh Dre. So he saw Mosh Dre's case. Yep.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't try to butcher that.
No, that's all right. Black Guns Matter. Solutionary Summit. Mosh Toure has one of my cases. Yep, absolutely. That is a cool case. That was gifted by Trench Work Chronicles. He's got a podcast and does some great stuff. Let's see. I did a Twisted Tea case that I got a cease and desist on. Which is
nice.
pretty awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
Cease and desist on. Tell me about that, man.
You know you've arrived when you get that, man.
Yeah.
I've gotten sued a few times, so it's pretty cool. Like,
Yeah, so I just did when the Twisted Tea thing came out, and that dude slapped the other racist dude in the face with the Twisted Tea. I was like, that needs a case, and everyone hopped on it. And I think a lot of people got it. It was just a letter in the mail says you cannot sell this as this is our our intellectual property, et cetera, et cetera. Like, yeah, that's cool.
It was from Twisted Tea.
Yeah. Well, no, not them themselves. The affiliate company
see,
that owns. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Awesome.
Let's see. Tracy Guns. I've done work with Tracy Guns. Patriot Rich.
Yeah.
Dead Air Silencers. They have a big sign that I made them.
Hey, I got one of those.
What's that? A Dead Air Silencer?
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I got a YouTube video about that.
ATS not watching right now. Nub Gunner. I've done a great case for Nub Gunner. What's that?
That's an AFT.
AFT, baby.
And my AR-14.
Let's see. Yeah, we did Rich, Joe Wall. If you guys know who Joe Wall is, he's an artist in his own. He makes jewelry. 2A jewelry. It's amazing stuff. McDojo Life. I've done a great case for him. Worked with him for a while. I did a case for Steel Victor, which I sponsor as a shooter. Did a Max Michel case for him, and Max actually signed it and everything, and it was cool.
Nice.
NBA star, Quiet Storm, Derek,
Cool.
Derek Grace 2. Done a case for him. Hustle Queen, of course, if y'all know Kendra. She's constantly repping the case that I made her.
Word.
She's family. She's listen, Hustle Queen is something else. Something else.
So Peter, what's next on the training list, man? As far as you personally.
On my training?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, man, I need to clean my guns. That's the first thing I gotta do.
Hey.
I gotta get cleaning, and I gotta fix some stuff up. Like my light on my red dot's dead, and I just haven't been able to charge it.
Oh, you're one of those dudes, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah. I've everything that I've got right now is kind of in disarray. I gotta put it all back together, clean it up.
Yeah.
So my training isn't extensive. My training is not extensive at all. But I do, number one, through osmosis. Number two, having people around me that give me the ins and outs.
Have you taken a class above and beyond the usual concealed carry class?
Yes, I have.
All right, so you are part of the 10% of the world.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, I do kind of have to.
9.
I do kind of have to too. Like everybody I know is trainers. Like I can't really not be. It's like you can't go to your chef friend's house and not try to stay.
If you're running, truth be told, if you're running a red dot, and you can take a little bit of time away from the classes, you need to look up a guy, the Modern Samurai Project. That's who you need to look up on the red dot side of things. He's like where the trainers go to train. He's legit.
Got it. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. I don't know how I feel about it yet. Like I have it on, I've got a Glock 19 X, and it's got, slide cuts and everything made by the gun company. They hooked me up and they put that red dot on it. And, I like it. But I don't have it's not my strongest thing. I'm much stronger with iron sights with no red dot.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Good deal, man.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Awesome, man. We let's see, we never really got to the Crack Hotel. The Crack Hotel stay, the Red Roof Inn in Livonia, Georgia. We'll maybe talk about that. Junkie, you available next week, my man?
Yeah, I'll hop in, man.
All right. So we'll talk about the Crack Hotel next week. And
I had to go get a shot after that.
Yeah, I think like we had to get
You
real
get
back.
tuberculosis from the hotel room.
Stay there. So, but we'll talk about that next week, guys. And we're super happy. Like Peter, you've been an awesome guest, man. We super appreciate your time. We will be reaching out about a custom case for our force on force training guns and things of that nature. And guys, if you're out there, and obviously Peter is an artist, he's in the right town as far as North Carolina goes, in Nashville. Like that's where the artist lives, you know what I mean? And so he has found his niche, he's found his town. And check him out on carolinacustomfoam.com. Obviously his resume is deep. So if you're looking for something special, and so a lot of the folks that are following us, Peter, just to be frank, they are protectors. They're not collectors, but at the same time, they might have something special that somebody handed down from them,
Sure.
and they might be in the market. So we super appreciate your time tonight, and we will continue to rep your product and be in contact with you. So.
Thanks, man.
We really appreciate your time. As always, Jerry Gage, thanks for stopping in tonight. Weapons Junkie, thanks for you stepped up big tonight. And Patrick Woods, I hope you got your cabinets painted, my man. So guys, check out Peter at carolinacustomfoam.com. And if you got a special project, you want some kind of one-off project, he's your man. Located in Nashville, North Carolina. And we really appreciate everybody's time. And with that said, if you're one of Peter's crew, I heard him say crew a few times, and you're looking for training in North Carolina, check us out at preparedpatriotnc.com. Check us out at Prepared Patriot NC across the socials. And we really appreciate your time, especially if you watch this back in a vehicle during your commute another day. So, guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And thanks for stopping by. And as always, we're here. Wait a minute. What's her name? Prepared Patriot NC will remind you to carry smart, carry safe, and be prepared. Sorry, guys. I'm only 5 Voodoo Rangers deep tonight. So I jumped
You're
over
doing great,
New
man.
Belgium.
You're
Peter
wrapping
knows
it
something
up.
about New Belgium. So I'm already sipping on the water. So, guys, thank you very much if you watched this far. And like I said,